Don't vote.
Don't vote.
Don't vote.
Don't vote.
No, seriously, don't. What's the point? Don't.
Don't vote.
Don't vote, really.
Why would you vote? Why would you vote?
Who cares? The economy's in the toilet. Who gives a shit? I don't care. I got so much money.
Should you vote? Is there even a point in voting? So there's this video going around, Save the Day by Josh Whedon, the director of the Avengers. Now, this guy made this video saying the importance of voting and why we need to go vote. It's also been reported that Josh has also given $1 million to the Clinton campaign.
On Tuesday, November 8th, this country will make one of the most important
decisions in its history.
You have a chance.
You have an obligation.
to be a part of that decision.
You might think it's not important. You might think you're not important.
But that's not true.
And the only way we can prove that to you is by having lots of famous people.
Lots of famous people.
Lots and lots of famous people.
Just a shit ton of famous people.
Repeating how important.
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 How important it is.
Right. So, this is an important issue, obviously, because we have celebrities telling us it's an important issue, right? Clearly, we should listen to them because they are celebrities, and we need to listen to the celebrities because they're important, right?
Register.
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 Vote.
There's so many famous people.
Some of us aren't as famous, but still pretty famous.
Like, you've seen us somewhere.
Sometimes a not famous person will be mixed in with the famous ones
They drive the message home.
because of their unpolished sincerity.
Their unpolished sincerity.
But you only get this many famous people together if the issue's
One that truly matters to all of us.
A disease or
Ecological crisis or
A racist, abusive coward who could permanently damage the fabric of our society.
Do the math. Do we really want to give nuclear weapons to a man whose signature move is firing?
firing things.
But we can end this nightmare before it begins.
We can save the day.
For our children.
For our children?
It sounds pretty clear. You are a Hillary supporter, all of you. Because, I mean, I don't think you're telling me to go out and vote for a third-party candidate. People just don't really know about that, right? And it's just assumed vote for Hillary. That's what the message I'm getting here is. Go vote for Hillary. Get your agenda. You're being paid. You're an actor. I understand. That's your job.
For our children.
For our communities.
For our communities.
For our communities.
For America.
For America.
For America.
All it takes is all of us.
All of us.
All of us.
we cannot pretend both sides are equally unfavorable.
Whoa, 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 whoa. We cannot pretend. Sir, I'm not quite sure who you are. I'm pretty sure you're an actor, though. Pretty sure you're an actor. I mean, as someone Google that for me, perhaps. But they seem pretty equal. Here are some things that I think are just as bad.
You were against same-sex marriage, now you're for it. You defended President Obama's immigration policies, now you say they're too harsh. You supported his trade deal dozens of times. You even called it the gold standard. Now, suddenly last week, you're against it. Will you say anything to get elected?
Well, actually, I have been very consistent over the course of my entire life. I have always fought for the same values and principles.
Do you think New York State should recognize gay marriage?
No.
No. Okay.
I support marriage for lesbian and gay couples. I support it personally and as a matter of policy and law.
Nobody in Congress likes him. Nobody likes him anywhere once they get to know him.
Okay, so no one likes Ted Cruz. Mr. Trump, a rebuttal.
I really do. I'd like Ted Cruz a lot.
Right out of the gate, there's a strong difference of opinion between our one candidate. How do you feel about the people of Iowa and your chances with them?
I love Iowa. We've done really well here. How stupid are the people of Iowa?
I made a mistake in describing it.
She claimed she misspoke last week and was sleep-deprived when she described landing under sniper fire in Tuzla, Bosnia, something that didn't happen. But CBS News has found several times in the past few months when Senator Clinton used the Bosnia trip to try to show her international experience. December in Iowa.
We landed in one of those corkscrew landings and ran out because they said there might be sniper fire.
Then in February.
The welcoming ceremony had to be moved inside because of sniper fire.
And last week.
I remember landing under sniper fire. We basically were told to run to our cars. Now that is what happened.
After CBS News video showed what really happened when she landed and greeted officials, Senator Clinton maintained there were risks, but but explained to the Philadelphia Daily News why she was seen on the Bosnian tarmac greeting a young child if it was really so dangerous.
How do you assess her foreign policy experience?
Hillary Clinton was the worst Secretary of State in the history of the United States. Hillary Clinton, I think, is a terrific woman. I mean, I'm a little biased because I've known her for years. I think she really works hard, and I think she does a good job, and I like her.
Do you really think that you're a better moderator than I am?
No, I could never beat you. That wouldn't even be close. There would be no contest. You have done a great job, by the way, and I mean it. I have zero respect for Megyn Kelly. I don't think she's very good at what she does. I think she's highly overrated.
Clearly they got scandals, the email scandals for Hillary Clinton, her constant lyings in Libya and a whole bunch of other places. You know, she's a constant liar. She's always lying a lot. Trump, he keeps changing his mind. They're both liars. So, equally unfavorable. Let me look at my notes here for a second. Equally unfavorable. No, yeah, that checks out. That checks out. They're equally unfavorable to me. I mean, they're both liars. They're both not going to stand by their word. They will change whatever they want. We're going to vote for this guy right here? This guy? Or her? This guy or her? Really? Those are our choices, really. Now, these are our last two options. We have Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton, but we had a whole bunch of other options. If we go to politics1.com here on this website, you can see the Democratic Party, the Republican Party, we both know those two. There's also, in the Republican Party, there was Bernie Sanders, but he's also knocked out. There's also third-party candidates that we could have tried voting for, and we still probably can now. There's the Libertarian Party with Gary Johnson, the Green Party, Jill Stein, Constitution Party, Independent Party, Party of Social and Liberation, Reform Party, Socialist Party, Socialist Workers Party, and then there's a whole bunch of individuals on ballot. And we could just go through this list. Look at this guy, Joe Exotic. That's a bit weird. There's also this guy, Dan. Dan, you're fighting the good fight, man. You're fighting the good fight there. But let's talk about why we didn't get all these other voters in and why it's kind of rigged against us. Look, and the New York Times just recently put this out. Only 9% of Americans choose Trump and Clinton as the nominees. They're the people that they chose a while back when we were able to vote who we wanted on the ballots. Only 9% of Americans actually voted for Trump and Clinton combined. Everybody else was picking something else. The United States is home to 324 million people, right? And this shows it pretty well. 103 million of them are children, non-citizens, or ineligible felons. People that can't vote, all right? These people can't vote. 88 million did not even vote in the general election. And an additional 73 did not vote in the primaries this year and most likely vote in the general election. They'll most likely vote. So they can still vote. 73 million. And then the remaining 60 million voted for the Republicans or Democrats. And of those, let's say about 30 million, because the other half of those of each went to other voters. So just 14% of eligible adults, 9% of the whole nation voted for either Trump or Miss Clinton. So not many people were actually voting for these people. There's so many people that can go, yeah, go vote, right? We can go vote and we could change something, perhaps, right? Alright, so let's go back to the video.
Can't say one vote doesn't matter.
Your vote matters.
Your vote matters. It affects everything.
Not just the presidency, but the Senate.
The House.
Your local officials.
Immigration. Student debt. Common sense gun laws.
The Supreme Court.
Okay, that sounds great and everything, but let's look at the Electoral College. It's basically a set of people that vote for you. How the Electoral College works, the people of the United States elect the president every 4 years, but not directly. We are not directly voting. Some people get that misconception that we are directly voting towards the president. This is not true. Citizens vote for a ticket of candidates that includes a candidate for president and a candidate for vice president. The outcome of the vote in each state determines a slate of electors who then in turn make the actual choice of the president and vice president. Each state has as many electors as it has senators and members of House of Representatives, for a total of 538. GovTrack.us, where you can see the two, Illinois being an example here, we have two senators, Richard Durbin and Mark Kirk, and then we have 18 representatives. Here they all are. That means we have 20 votes for the state. Now, a lot of other states have a lot of other representatives, but that's how many we have here for the Electoral College. We don't have the representatives and senators voting directly, but we do have other politicians that are picked to do the vote for our party. Essentially, we are voting in the hopes electors are going to vote our way. So most of us vote Democrats. We're hoping these guys will all vote Democrat, right? but it's not necessarily true in about half the states. You don't actually have to vote with the majority of the population. Next comes gerrymandering here, which is essentially they're taking equal amount of people voting in certain areas and reshaping the districts in a way that favors the losing party. 3 different ways that divide 50 people into 5 districts. 60% blue and 40% red. And they could change it in a way that red wins. And they have done this countless times over and over again, redrawing the districts. They can reshape these things. These aren't set in stone. There's no weird white lines on the floor of what district's what district. They could reshape these districts whenever they see fit. So if there's a clump of a lot of Democrat voters here, they're going to make that one district, while there's everywhere else is kind of red and bluish. So then they'll have more Republicans voting in different areas, so then they'll get the majority vote for Republican. Rigged and cheating. And who agrees to this and who sets that up? It is basically politicians that set that up. So now we have electoral college, gerrymandering. So what other ways are the odds stacked against this?
Mr. Curtis, are there programs that can be used to secretly fix elections?
Yes.
How do you know that to be the case?
Because in October of 2000, I wrote a prototype for President Congressman Tom Feeney at the company I worked for in Oviedo, Florida, that did just that.
And would that program that you designed be something that elections officials could detect?
They'd never see it.
And your testimony is under oath?
Yes, sir.
And the testimony you've given is true?
Yes, sir. Now that you've got your vote and you want to flip it, you hit the R, hit the S, and it flips. Bush wins.
That's simple.
That's simple. 24 lines of code, you never see it. Kind of felt responsible, like I wrote a blueprint for him. Not that I'm the only one in the world who could do that, you know. Any baby programmer would know how to do that. It is super easy. It takes nothing.
On the morning of Election Day, the voting machine awaits instruction. Logic and accuracy testing is essentially a pretend election. The worker casts pretend ballot, and then the machine counts the pretend votes. Our vote-stealing software can tell that the worker is doing logic and accuracy testing, so this is not a real election. It allows the pretend votes to be counted correct so that the machine passes the test. Everything still looks normal. In this example election, there are 2 candidates for president, George Washington and Benedict Arnold. The voter chooses George Washington. The machine asks him to confirm his vote, and he does so. The machine ejects the voter card after marking it as used. 4 more voters cast their votes. They vote for George Washington, Benedict Arnold, George Washington, and George Washington. The correct result for this election is George Washington, 4 votes, Benedict Arnold, 1 vote. An election worker approaches the machine, inserts a supervisor card, and tells the machine to end the election. The machine prints out a paper tape announcing the result. The tape shows that Benedict Arnold won the election, 3 votes to 2. This result is incorrect. Malicious software stole votes from George Washington and gave them to Benedict Arnold. The voting machine was running Diebold's election software, but it was also silently running our demonstration vote-stealing software, and our software was able to steal votes without being detected. When the election ends, the vote-stealing software can delete itself from the voting machine. No evidence remains that the machine was ever hijacked.
The ranking member of the Senate Homeland Security Committee sent a letter Monday to the Homeland Security Secretary. It said in part, election security is critical, and a cyber attack by foreign actors on our election systems could compromise the integrity of our voting process. Maria Villarreal is in Los Angeles to show us how this could happen.
The voter doesn't even need to leave the booth to hack the machine. One reason these voting systems are so vulnerable is their age.
More than 40 states are using voting machines that are at least 10 years old.
So we have a whole bunch of things stacked up against this, right? We have gerrymandering, electoral college, these rigged voting machines with malicious software that anybody can program in there, and we don't have anybody checking these machines, any professionals checking them for any malicious software. Not to mention we have 2 candidates that people don't really want into office, right? So what we can do is we could write petitions to change gerrymandering in the electoral college. That would be a start. Have professionals checking the voting machines, and we can perhaps have more candidates at the presidential debates. Because if we don't try changing anything else, might as well just sit at home, watch TV, go to the movie theater, go do something else. Nothing's really going to change, and you going to vote is not going to change anything. It's all rigged. Might as well actually go protest and go do something. Because if not, why vote?
You're right. Don't vote.
It's a bad idea.
I forbid you to vote.
Don't vote.
You don't care? I don't care.
Don't vote. Whatever you do, don't vote.
Do not vote.